welcome again to Essence over here, guys. Tricks always over here, guys. Today, tricks from the superb Nick de Pozzi, also magic from lovely me for you as always, and also magic from Mark and Paul in Germany, guys, and also a tribute to the superb magician that is Wayne Dobson, guys. He passed last Monday, so check out magic now, guys. Relax now for some tricks always for you, guys. What a magic for you. Fresh and lovely Essence over here, guys. Super tricks, super illusions. Blowing mind as always, and mind-blowing magicians for you as always, guys. Top magician for you around the world for you as always. So relax now for 10 minutes. Look at superb mind-blowing tricks, mind-blowing illusions, world-class top magicians for you as always, guys. Blowing mind as always with super magic tricks and magic illusions. Let's log this, including super look at the life of Wayne Dobson, super British magician, guys. Okay, let's log this video. Should be good fun. Okay, some mind-blowing tricks. Seriously, it's good today from lovely Neon World over here. Let's log this video. Should be good fun. Mind-blowing tricks, mind-blowing illusions. Here we get it. Go. With another set of tricks. This is one of the Geometrix, the super illusion with a square and the circle in the box. Okay, put in the box, go get to the box, and they put the tubes through the box, a square, circle, and triangle through the box, guys. So it's fire too, actually. Love the way they use fire in this tricks. There's wonderful Nick de Pozzi again from Italia. So the beautiful ladies and a super version of the classic Geometrix illusion. Lots of fire, super birds, tubes through box trick. Very good effect. relax now and watch Superb Marking Paul. I think it's from lovely Germany, guys. And these guys are actually with a very good version of the classic Vanishing motorcycle, okay, guys. The motorcycle is put up in the air like in a crate, disappears in thin air like that, right in front of your eyes. Version of my somebody magicians going to Copperfield 30 years ago. But here it is, wonderful Vanishing motorcycle done in a giant crate. One of Superb magicians from Germany, Mark and Paul. They're very good magicians, seriously. Very kind of secret weird German style, okay. Superb magicians with a wonderful German style version of Vanishing motorcycle, high up in the air, lovely illusion. Check this out. Also here, guys, bit of me for you or as well, guys. It's me also for you over here. This is me doing a bit of magic for you. This is a wonderful bit of magic. This is called dealing the cards. Deal 2 packs of cards, and I get the aces. Here it is, okay. Pure no camera tricks, pure skill. Bit of me for you guys with wonderful dealing the aces. Real cards, no camera tricks. Wonderful magic over here. Pure skill, me for you guys with dealing the aces. No camera tricks, pure skill. Have a look at this. guys. As I say, very, very sad news, okay, so this week, of course, as everyone knows, okay, the World of Magic series, very sad news indeed, of course. That's a top magician UK, very big top magician UK, of course, Wayne Dobson, of course, passed away, died, unfortunately, I think it was last Monday or so, and he died, of course, at the age of 68 years old. And it was a really obviously great magician, of course. He died of MS, didn't he? Which is very sad indeed. Of course, he was a very good magician. I remember him so well, like a lot of you do. You know, I remember him over the years so well, of course, as a big star. UK television, 1980s, of course, mainly 1980s, really, of course. He's a big star on television. Very early 1990s, it's 35 years ago. But he was a really, really great magician, of course. And I'm very sad, of course, to hear from him and his family, of course, that he's obviously passed on at quite a young age. I'm very sad, of course. He was a really great guy, of course. I did actually meet him very briefly myself back about 1991. Was on television, the Magic Circle myself in London. I met him there at Magic Circle. He was leaning against the wall. I remember that really clearly. But he's a lovely guy, and I'm very sorry that he's passed on, of course. And I want to say all sympathies and condolences from everyone here at Magic Mike 122, this channel right here, about Wayne Dobson, of course. And I have a little chat about him, actually, a little chat about him, as I remember him very, very well. So he wasn't really around an awful lot the last 20 odd years, was he? He wasn't on television, but he was a part of the Magic fraternity, of course, wasn't he? He was often at Blackpool, wasn't he? Magic Convention, of course, and things like that. And I remember him really, really well, actually. During the 1980s, I was a kid, as a teenager, and he was on TV quite a lot. He used to appear in various TV shows. I remember he was on things, all kinds of TV shows. He was on the Royal Variety Show, of course, 1989 with Frank Bruno, that sort of stuff, wasn't he? And he was very entertaining indeed. He was kind of from the comedy, kind of like Paul Daniel was kind of the comedy kind of magic area, where comedy and magic met, didn't they? The sort of stuff I like doing. Comedy magic with very clever kind of gags and reels and funny stuff like that. You know, with magic, you know what I mean? They kind of made it, really wove comedy and magic really well together. So it's very fast kind of talking, wasn't he, as well? Very fast talking guy, very witty and funny indeed. And he was born in the late 50s in Leicester, wasn't he, of course? And he went to Leicester Magic Circle, which I always remember that, actually, Leicester Magic Circle, believe it or not, in 1991. And he was very known at Leicester Magic Circle when I was there back in 1990s, Leicester Magic Circle. Hi to Leicester Magic Circle. But he was actually there. I was there with a guy called Roy Johnson. Roy Johnson was his mentor. I think he was a teacher of Wayne Dobson back in the 1970s, 80s. And he was a card guy, Roy Johnson. Roy Johnson said to me, I remember him saying to me, Wayne Dobson was the best thing that ever happened to Leicester Magic Circle. It probably was, but he was, seriously, because Wayne Dobson was a Leicester boy, wasn't he, of course, from Leicester, middle of England. And I think Wayne, in the 1970s, had worked in a sock factory. And he'd done magic really, really as a teenager. And he got on television, got a break on TV. He was on Blue Peter in the UK. He made a big TV show for kids in the UK, Blue Peter. Wonderful Blue Peter. And then, of course, he went from there, as after that, to doing TV shows, on many shows back in, I think mainly ITV and stuff like that in the 1980s, and various TV shows. And then around about 1989, 1990, he got his own TV show himself, didn't he, on ITV in the UK, which is called A Kind of Magic. Like, It's a Kind of Magic. It was kind of really funny kind of TV show he had for about 3 years. And I remember him being with Linda Lusardi, wasn't it? The model, wasn't it? Linda Lusardi was on it as well, wasn't it? Also, he had a comedy rabbit, didn't he, as well, called Ringo Rabbit, didn't he? Ringo Rabbit. So it was a really funny show, actually, really good show, actually, because it was on ITV and primetime Saturday night television, basically, around about 1991, 1992, so 30 years ago, of course, wasn't it? A while ago now, of course. I remember it really, really well, of course. I showed a few clips of it on my channel, actually, when I get clips of it. And I made a video on him as well, seriously, back a few years ago. I made a video about Wayne Dobson. So, and as I say, I think late 80s, early 1990s, after being on these kind of big magic shows and stuff, he eventually, I think he eventually got MS, and of course I think slowly became rather ill and he got in a wheelchair. And I think he was always a name. He was always, I think, making tricks, his comedy tricks. I think he was a name around the place, known by many, many magicians. And of course, sadly, he passed away, of course, at 68 years old last week. So it's very sad indeed. I'm sorry about that. And I was waiting to try and think of what I could say about Wayne, because I know he was a really good guy. And he was a young guy, skinny guy, short guy, good-looking guy, wasn't he? With little blonde hair, wasn't he? He was a good chirpy kind of guy, wasn't he? And I remember that very well. I remember him being in the late 80s, kind of in competition with Paul Daniels, wasn't he? Because Paul Daniels was kind of fast and funny, and so was Wayne Dobson, fast and funny kind of magic, you know what I mean? And they're both kind of a similar kind of thing, weren't they? And I think Dobson and Daniels were like sort of the kind of, they were both the two guys on television in the UK anyway, do you know what I mean? And in America, it was David Copperfield and that kind of stuff. And in the UK, it was Simon Drake, it was Wayne Dobson, Paul Daniels, you know what I mean? That's kind of guys doing magic back in the day, 30 odd years ago. So it was really interesting seeing how Wayne Dobson, had such a good career, of course. And what tricks did Wayne Dobson do on the show? He did a lot of stuff on the shows. I remember the shows really well. I had them on videotape. In those days, all videotape, when I videotaped all the shows. I've been to every one of his shows. I remember that really, really clearly. So I did it on ITV. And I remember them. He did stuff like, he did so many illusions. He did a lot. I think he did appearing helicopter. He did multi-box. The girl gets cut in 9 pieces. Very sexy kind of routine. I remember doing that. He did. I think he did a Sam Spade, some sort of like noir kind of like comedy detective kind of routine with a kind of detective guy, wasn't he? Did so many tricks, didn't he, on the shows? Looking back over those years ago. He did Cards Across, which I should do. He did Ring and Rope, Can't Restore Rope Routines. He did. I remember did Cups and Balls, like Di Vernon's Cups and Balls. Really, really, really well, actually. Really, really well, actually. Did many, many card tricks. I remember him doing loads of stuff. He did a very clever version, I remember, of doing Dagger Through Coat. I remember doing Dagger Through Coat. I think that's when he was appearing on a show called Joe Longthorne Show. So he was on Joe Longthorne. Remember Joe Longthorne? Remember him, the British entertainer Joe Longthorne? He was a very funny entertainer back in the 1980s. And he's passed away as well, actually. He was kind of a very funny guy, a very good singer, Joe Longthorne. He was Wayne Dobson was on the Joe Longthorne Show. You probably remember that, don't you? And Joe Longthorne had him on. I remember Wayne doing Knife Through Jacket really, really well, actually. He's taking Knife Through Jacket. So it was really good as well. So many, many memories of that, as I say, seriously. I always thought Wayne Dobson was the best thing on Joe Longthorne Show. And I think he did 3s on television. And I think things waned a bit from, as I say, and he kind of disappeared off television, didn't he? I remember seeing him in 1993. I saw Wayne in 1993 at Blackpool Convention. He was still pretty fit then. He was kind of really fit back in normal in those days. It was pretty normal. I remember him being pretty fit on stage. I remember him doing the buzzsaw, big cut into the buzzsaw. Remember that really well, as I say. Remember that. So Wayne Dobson was one 1980s kind of troupe of entertainers, magicians, of course. I think Wayne Dobson was one of those guys, and I agree with this. He was a showman first, magician second, wasn't he? Showman first, magician second. I think that's what he really was. He was a very funny kind of guy, and he really cleverly wove comedy in with magic, didn't he? So well, didn't he? Magic comedy so well. It was really, really, really seriously, wasn't it? Of course, how he did that. He was a really good magician. And I think Wayne was one of the best magicians I've ever seen in many ways. Actually, he really was. He was a young guy, a talented guy, so talented, and I know he was really, really loved by Leicester Magic Circle, where he came from back in the 70s and 80s, and Roy Johnson. I think he was loved by those guys, seriously, back in those days. I remember he was really, really admired and loved those days, seriously. And I think Wayne, it's a shame Wayne didn't carry his TV career on further in many ways, wasn't it? Because he was such a good entertainer. He could have carried his career on a lot further in many ways on television. It didn't happen, did it? As you know what TV's like. And then I think with his kind of style of show business entertainment, it became kind of, didn't it? Kind of like David Blaine kind of stuff, didn't it? You know what I mean? Kind of straight magic. And Wayne Dobson didn't do that kind of stuff, I guess. And so he didn't kind of appear much on TV after the 1990s. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Of course, it's the way show business goes, isn't it? In some ways. But Wayne Dobson was a very good magician, very, very good magician, very entertaining magician, very funny kind of guy. I love the show, kind of magic, and if you go on YouTube, kind of magic's on there, and it's really interesting to say about that. I think Linda Sardi was fantastic. The girl who helped him out, I remember Linda Sardi. She was great as well. It was a really good show, wasn't it? Seriously, and it was really lovely that Wayne Dobson had a brilliant spark in his career those 30 years ago period before he became a little bit ill, where he got to actually kind of have an amazing television career that most of me and you would dream of it, wouldn't we? We'd dream of being on television, wouldn't we? Being a TV magician like Wayne Dobson. Wayne Dobson lived the dream. He actually got the dream. He actually got the dream come true, didn't he? He became a big magician. I remember he went. I think he said something like he went around the world to get illusions. He went to America to get illusions for the show. He was really keen on doing really good quality illusions, and he really did it, didn't he? Really good quality illusions. The show, didn't he? If you look at the TV show now. So again on YouTube, I look at the kind of magic show. Wayne Dobson, chirpy, short, lovely magician, very funny guy, seriously, and a very, very funny guy, really, really funny guy, seriously. And I'm sad, of course, that he's died now at 68 years old, of course, and it's a little bit young, sad. I know he was ill for a good 20 years. I think he appeared in the 1990s on television last time. I don't think he appeared much on television since the 1990s much, but it's sad because he had MS, and MS is a progressive disease, of course, and I know a lot of people have got MS, and I know people who get it. It can bring people's lives to an end a bit early, and it's very sad about that, obviously. But so Wayne was, I think he kept his attitude, positivity up, didn't he, to the end of his life so well, didn't he? He was really positive at the end of his life, Wayne, wasn't he? He was always happy, I think he was always writing and thinking about magic, wasn't he, at the end of his life? People who knew him better than I knew him, really. And I think he's one of Leicester's great kids, isn't he? One of Leicester's children, isn't he? Leicester, middle of England, English town. And I think he was one of Leicester's great kids, wasn't he? Came out of Leicester, like Gary Lineker was Leicester, wasn't he? Gary Lineker. But also other Leicester kid is Wayne Dobson, isn't he? From Leicester, a world-class magician from Leicester. I think he played in Las Vegas as well. Wayne Dobson played around the world, didn't he? And one thing about Wayne Dobson as well, by the way, he did a lot of big shows. Think about it. He was in Las Vegas, wasn't he? Engelbert Humperdinck, wasn't he? Remember that? Was it with Engelbert Humperdinck in the 1980s? So Dobson had a lot of different kind of big areas he was in, wasn't he? He was a big magician, seriously, wasn't he? Think about it now. Back in I remember those things. I remember Wayne Dobson really did go, far out to bring some really good magic, didn't he? You know what I mean? Bring really good magic to the fore, didn't he? I remember that really, really well about him, seriously. And so recent years, in the last 10 years, we've lost some big magicians, haven't we, in the UK? David Burglass, about a couple of years ago. Paul Daniels, I think it was 9 years ago. Britain's top magician. Wayne Dobson, now we lost him this year. So as the years roll on, of course, people do pass on. It does happen, of course, doesn't it? And we have to remember them really, really well. And this guy, Wayne Dobson, was one of the heights of 80s, early 90s showbiz in UK television with magic. And always remember him, seriously. And always remember how good he was. And I really wanted to be as good as him. I really did. I actually copied Wayne Dobson myself. He influenced me when I did Cabaret in Greece, Turkey, Spain, 1990s. I kind of copied Wayne Dobson. I used to nick some of his gags because it was quite the way to be, wasn't it? I love some of the jokes he had. I used to nick him and do myself in Cabaret. When I was in Turkey, Greece, Spain, doing Cabaret a lot in the 1990s, myself doing the same sort of tricks. So cut and stall rope, linking rings, I used to do that kind of tricks. Vanishing, thumb tip silk and stuff. I used to do that, cigarette and jackets. I used to do that an awful lot. A lot of tricks what Wayne was doing. And I loved all that stuff, seriously. But I know he was loved up by Leicester Magic Circle. I know that he was really, really admired for getting onto television in the way he did in those days, didn't he? And I wish his career got even higher than it did. But he had a good career, didn't he? And I think he had a really satisfying career in showbiz, didn't he, over those years? And Royal Variety Show, of course, wasn't it, as well, with fighting the Queen in 1989. Must have been a big thing, mustn't it, seeing that going to Royal Variety Show, wasn't it, in those days, wasn't it? Must have been a big thing for him to be in those days, wasn't it? Royal Variety Show. Must have been really big for Wayne Dobson being on that show, wasn't it? I bet it was a big thing for him, seriously. Get on that show, Royal Variety Show, as a magician. Really great, wasn't it? In those days, Paul Daniels kind of ruled it all, didn't he? And a lot of other magicians want to be like Paul Daniels was, and Wayne Dobson was kind of getting close to being like that, wasn't it? I remember that really well. It was interesting stuff, wasn't it? So there's wonderful Wayne Dobson, top British magician, born late 50s, and he died, of course, this week of, as I say, the age of 68 years old. A great magician, funny, Leicester boy, amusing, extremely entertaining guy, very, very funny indeed, seriously, also very good timing, and got the audience roaring with laughter, also technically very good too. Check out his show, Kind of Magic. It's on YouTube, a lot of it's on YouTube, Kind of Magic, 1990s. It's on there. Just sit back and spend an evening looking at some of his shows. It's a fantastic show, seriously. So much good magic on it, There's a lot of good tricks, And I guess he didn't always get it always right, but then he got it right a lot of time. He always got it right a lot of time, you know what I mean? And I think the man who produced that TV show, produced The X Factor, produced Pop Idol, but years later actually, the man who directed that Wayne Dobson show, I think he produced the Pop Idol, didn't he? Remember that the guy did it? He produced Pop Idol, didn't he? But it's very interesting indeed, seriously. Wayne Dobson, a great magician. And rest in peace, Wayne. From everyone here and on my channel here, Magical Mike, on my channel, just hearts out to and memories out to Wayne Dobson, top British magician, one of the best magicians ever to come out of the UK, seriously, in the last few decades, seriously. And many of us wish we could have been as successful as Wayne was, because Wayne really was a star, wasn't he? He was a star on magic, Wayne Dobson. And thoughts to his family too, guys. And rest in peace, and thoughts with you, Wayne, and your family. That's about all I can say about it, okay? And that's that. And that's all I can say really about it, guys. And thoughts go out to Wayne and his family. One of the world's great magicians in Britain, Mr. Wayne Dobson. guys, more tricks always, what a magic for you. And let's think, as I say, what we'll do next video, okay guys, if more tricks come as always, what magic for you as always, guys, okay, me, Magic Mike. Share the videos, like, subscribe as well, please do guys. And see you soon guys, more tricks, magic as always, what a magic for you as always, with more mind-blowing magic tricks as always guys on my channel. Hitting over 600 videos and 1,000 subscribers and 2 million views, it's amazing, isn't it? I hope you enjoy this over here guys, see you soon guys, and please subscribe. And see you soon guys, some of the essence over here for more tricks and magic illusions as always. And what a magic, see you soon guys, love you all, share the video, subscribe, and bye for now.